Welcome to episode 1 of the VanDyk Mortgage West Michigan Conference Weekly Coaches Show. I'm host Cody Kater. Each week I'll be chatting with a coach and players from a West Michigan Conference football team. Kicking it off, this season's first episode are Whitehall defensive coordinator Keith Stratton and senior brothers Jackson and Shane Cook. Before we get too far into the show, we need to thank our sponsors who make content like this possible. First off, thanks to our title sponsor, VanDyk Mortgage Lakeshore. Thanks also to Foundation Systems of Michigan, Shield Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, David Dusenberry, Durga Insurance, Chris Dykema, and Sarah Reel at Greenridge. Reel is pronounced as Real. All right, good deal. And also Big Stone Therapies, North Grove Brewers, and Grieve Law. I guess more about me. I had a background here at Montague in the White Lake area. I still live with my parents in the basement in Montague. So this is coming on my way home here. So this is kind of a great experience for me. Also have a good deal of experience just around the West Michigan Conference. I grew up with 2 older brothers, and from what I can remember, guys, I was in the stands watching them. So I had a brother that was 10 years older and a brother that was 7 years older. So my content, goes all the way back to Nate McClough, probably for Whitehall. I remember the 97, I'm pretty sure it was, playoff game at, your guys' home stadium against Oak Ridge. I remember watching them split 2 guys in half on a veer, and two defensive ends ran right into each other. It was pretty amazing.
Nice.
I think I was 6 or 7 years old at the time. But all right, so enough about me. I'm going to introduce our guests. We are taking a look at Whitehall. They're coming off a big win at 54-26 season opening victory over Hudsonville Unity Christian, which hadn't lost a regular season game since week 8 of 2019. That's a pretty remarkable feat there. The Vikings did not allow a point in the second half, outscoring the Crusaders 27-0 over the final 24 minutes. Some great halftime adjustments there. On that note, now is a good time to introduce Keith Stratton, Whitehall's defensive coordinator. Keith's brought a couple hard-nosed players with him, fraternal twins Jackson and Shane Cook. All right. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I got this. You want me to say my position and stuff? All right. Jackson Cook, I'm a running back and inside linebacker. What else do I say? Is that it?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm Shane Cook, and I play left guard and really anywhere on the D-line.
All right. Coach Stratton, how many years of experience? How long have you been at Whitehall?
Oh, I started in 2010, and so I've been here through several coaches. And then Tony Sigmund came in 2013 and made me the defensive coordinator, and that was the first time I was a coordinator. And I was a JV coach at Muskegon Catholic for 8 years, I believe I was, 8 seasons before I came up this way.
All right. Well, let's switch gears to this previous game. Going into this game, preparation-wise, I guess, Coach, what were your guys' thoughts going into this rare kind of territory that you guys, you hadn't been at Hudsonville Unity Christian in years previous, and you guys put that game on the schedule. What was the preparation like?
Well, the preparation started, probably in the summer when we had no success against a T team, especially a powerhouse like Unity was. And so we did a lot of adjusting and a lot of trying to put together a package throughout the summer and come in with something, knowing we were going to see, at least 3 good T teams coming up this season. And with not having success against them, it was something that was all new territory to us, to me especially, because I hadn't done well. So we put together a package, and when we thought we liked it, and we ended up getting into the practice and seeing some difficulties, some question marks we had, and I actually gave Coach Fairfield from Muskegon a call, and he was gracious enough to come up. He spent probably 2 hours with us, telling us, hey, this is good, this is bad, this is the reason I do this. And every question we had, he had an answer for, and it really made us comfortable with what what we all had kind of put together. And so he was very, very helpful.
Okay. Cool. And he's got that Zeeland West, kind of background where he's got to see it every single year.
Yeah.
One of the greats and
right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Emotions of the game. Well, what was that like kind of going into Hudsonville Unity Christian, going away, and then this is also your guys' senior year. So what was that like for you guys?
I mean, I was pretty amped up because, I mean, it's our senior year, it's the first game of the year, and it was just a big opportunity to kind of show them who we are, show them the big senior class we had coming in and the juniors. So I was just pretty amped up the whole time. And then from then on out, was once the game had started and the touchdowns started flying, it's kind of a roller coaster of emotions, but just got to keep them in check and play hard the whole game.
What was the turning point where you knew that you guys had a really good opportunity ahead of yourself to capitalize on the plays that you guys were making?
I'm confused. Say that again. Wait.
What was the turning point in the game where you knew that you guys
We knew we were going to win the game?
Yeah, not necessarily that you knew, but you had a really great opportunity, to capitalize on those plays that you guys are starting to gain some confidence.
Like defensively, we were really they had nothing going. And that's when we knew, because our offense, they couldn't stop us offensively. Our offense is way too good. Yeah,
Right. Okay, so the turning point into that. I guess how much does it mean to you guys as players, senior year, going and getting this victory in year one, in your last year, but in game one in week one? What does that say to you guys or the rest of your team or the locker room, the hallways? What that the confidence to build off of that, or the work ethic, or capitalizing on this victory? What are you guys seeing out of that?
All that hard work is worth. Everything we did in the offseason was worth. That's really what it tells us.
Yeah. So you guys are obviously putting a ton of work in, and you guys have Hastings now coming up next. That's kind of new territory as well for you guys, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So what does that look like? Kind of dumping that first week victory out. Are you guys having your own kind of mottos, or what does that look like going into the second week and a whole new preparation of this?
I think it just got to start with practice and having a good week of practice, taking every day once at a time, not looking ahead at all, and just making every day the most important day. Each practice, every rep.
All right, what's Hastings going to throw at you guys, Coach?
Yeah, pretty much we kind of got prepped a little bit with last game because they're another T team, so that worked out kind of in our favor. There's some different twists. They're bigger. They're a bigger team. They might be more physical. We'll see. Unity was very physical, but this is just it's a meteor line and look like they're well coached, and they're big dudes. They got a wide out, which is a little bit different than what we see. So we have to make a couple adjustments to what we did against Unity. And, we're still working out those bugs, but at least we have a little bit of a prequel to this game, And
you're traveling to Hastings. So what does that travel look like? Do you guys have stops on the way, or what is that preparation, and even in that travel? I want to know. We're traveling to St. John's on Thursday.
Yeah. So we're actually haven't figured all of that out. We were just talking about that. I think we're going to, originally it was going to be a triple header, our freshmen and our JV and then our varsity. And when we were talking about it, what do we do? Do we back this up and maybe, take a stop, or is there another high school along the way we can get out and stretch, or do what? I think what Coach Sigmund wants us to do is just stay at that time. We were going to leave early. All right. And we're going to get there and get taped there and go through all our ritual and not make any adjustments to what the kids have already got set in their mind, so we can kind of keep that regimented.
Okay. So in a week by week basis, what does the prep look like for you guys on and off the field?
I would say first off, like he said, take it one day at a time and don't look down the road. Like, we shouldn't be thinking about Monty or Oak Ridge right now. We should be thinking about Hastings, things like that. It's just every day matters. Today is the most important day.
Okay, what do you guys do weight room wise? What do you guys do chalk talk wise, huddle, film wise? How much time do you think you guys are putting off of the field? How much time are you guys putting?
We're getting, we're lifting twice a week for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we got film for what, an hour?
Yeah,
every
almost
day
every day.
Yeah, and of course we have guys watching film, at home and stuff, because it's just what we're going to do.
Right on. So what are the wrinkles that we are bringing to the table? Don't have to tell me everything about the game plan, but what are the wrinkles that we're bringing to the table for week 2?
I'm not saying nothing. Hastings could be watching, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that.
Okay. All right. I like that. Keeping everything a secret. So you guys are also wrestlers, to highlight you guys. So as you guys are both wrestlers on the varsity team?
him over here decided to take a little break.
Okay, so
He's back. He's coming back.
I'm coming back. Yeah.
So you're coming back your senior year, and you wrestled this past season.
Mm-hmm.
What was the turnover on that? So what do you take away from wrestling that you guys can plug into football?
Oh,
Work ethic. That's one thing.
They coincide right with each other. Just, I mean, especially being on the D line, hand fighting and everything, that helps. And then just like, I guess, work ethic and grit kind of come with that, and being able to keep pushing yourself.
Okay, so you guys have some elite coaches, on your football staff, but also on your wrestling staff. If you could take away some characteristics from your wrestling coaches and from your football coaches and build your best coach that you could, that you would want to have for the rest of your time here on Earth, what does that look like?
There's a lot. I mean, it's
tough for me to answer this because I haven't been around those wrestling coaches in 2 years, so I don't.
I mean, I think I don't know. It's kind of hard to like choose characteristics of coaches over like other characteristics, because I feel like they all like are very, very good at what they do. So it's kind of hard to pull out some things, I guess.
Are you trying to be a politician going forward? You should. That was a great answer. So, look, as an outsider looking in, I don't know much about Whitehall. So, I've always been on the other side, obviously. So I don't know much that's going on in the hallways and the conversations that are having in the locker rooms and the weight rooms and those things. But as you look as an outsider in, you guys have some, elite coaches that have done a great job building some programs, but also they've got to be doing an awesome job of building young men so that they're prepared for whatever event that comes across in their life. So I do want to commend those coaches on those things, and also how they work so well hand in hand. There's so much trade-off. So what does make Coach Stratton, what makes Whitehall so special?
The community. I grew up in Fruitport, and it was it was a village when I was growing up. I didn't go to Fruitport, but I grew up there, and I met my wife. My wife was a Whitehall grad. And so when I came up here, not knowing much, it's funny because just Muskegon to Whitehall is 15, 20 minutes, but I didn't know anything about Whitehall. And when I got up here and I seen kind of the small town feel, it really felt like home immediately. And, my older stepson started playing football, and that's when I kind of got into the little league stuff here. I would go and I'd leave a coach at Catholic, and I'd come up here and coach Pee-wees, and I was like, man, this is an addicting place. And I got to meet some of the people who led me to, it was Dan Holden at the time, and got me an interview, and so he hired me for my first varsity job. And then Cliff Sandy and Mark Hebb and all of those guys. Then when Tony came and brought in, CJ Van Weeren and DeRose, and now we've got Kyle McGrew and some, and Huizinga, Casey Huizinga. I mean, all of these guys, it felt like, you really do feel like brothers. There's the times where we disagree and we're not afraid to voice that, but we also have the ultimate respect for, what the other person's saying. And we're getting to the point now, and it took a couple years, but we're getting to the point now where we really listen to the other voices. And I think that's where we started breaking through with the culture at Whitehall. And we started to really meld together and not be so, I guess, singular in your thought process. I know that was for me, at least. You kind of open it and expand your mind to all these really knowledgeable guys.
Do you think that trickles down into the brotherhood that these guys are creating as well in the wrestling and the basketball and the football piece of it too, seeing the adults come together and be able to create community? Yeah,
I honestly do. I mean, because the head basketball coach, Christian Subden, was on our staff last year. In the Zurups, they talked to us. I had a conversation this weekend with one of them, and I mean, it is, and that we all understand, and we all try to not exist in the way of the other. We're all trying to really have each program excel and help it out in any way we can. And so I think, at least, I can't speak for these guys, but I think when they see us all get along, and we all are in it for the kids, we really are. They're the reason, and Cody, this is the reason why we do, right? For these guys, and I think if they see all of us working together and really enjoy each other's company and respect one another, then I would imagine it trickles down. I would hope so, at least.
What makes Whitehall so special to you guys?
My teammates, coaches, just the whole community, the environment there. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just basically what he said. And it's just, it feels like a family. So that's kind of one of the best things is you go to war out on that field or whatever sport you're doing, and you're just going to battle with your brothers.
Right on. So if you, to piggyback off that family piece, you're coaching your son, what does that element bring to the team and to your life?
To the team, it's weird because when he started, he was chomping at the bit to play football. And if I remember the story, he ran up to me and said, "Hey, can I play football?" And I said, "No, we're not even going to talk about that until you're 10. I think he was maybe 7. And then he went right to his mom, "Hey, can I play football?" And she says, "Well, we'll talk about that next year." Right. And so that was 8. So I think we split it at 9 is when he started playing. And when he started playing, he wanted to be this quarterback. And I was like, "Why don't you be a running back? Who would want to play quarterback and give the ball away all the time?" And I'm talking to you. It's kind of ridiculous now hearing myself say this to you because of all of your success. But now in hindsight, I don't know anything about the position. And so it was great. And it's really rewarding to watch him, have good days, bad days, whatever they may be, but I'm not in the way of that. I love to be around it. I love to watch, as any father would, any of the guys I feel like are my sons, like I got my twin boys here today, it feels like, but to have a guy like CJ Van Weeren, take him under his wing, it's rewarding. And that's something that's going to be special for as long as I'm around.
Right on. What, as a player's perspective, because I also coached with 5 coaches that had their sons on the team. And I guess I look back on my experience on that. It wasn't as rough as what maybe some people thought it would be, just because the dads were so open-minded and wanted the same things out of that experience for their son. But out of a player's perspective, does that mean a little bit more to you guys because your coach is at a deeper level, or is it one of those things where you feel as if there's favorites being played?
I don't think there's any favorites being played here. I know for a fact.
Tough question.
Coach is
we're digging deep.
Strat gets on him. Kyle, he's worked for everything he's done. He's worked really hard for everything he's done. I mean, it's well deserved where he's at right now.
And is it those after game parties and those types of things that are maybe at the Strattons or that are maybe at the coaches' houses? It doesn't be because you're hanging out with their sons, and then you get to see the coaches in a new element. Does that shed light on who they are as a human being compared to just being a coach?
I answered the last one. You can answer this one. I mean,
or do you still see Coach Stratton as Coach Stratton, or do you see him as Kyle's dad, or do you see him as
Coach Stratton's always Coach Stratton?
Okay, no matter what, even in the garage, even in the okay, all right. I thought we were going to try to get something.
I was going to say. I love Coach Stratton.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying I don't love Coach Stratton. I'm just saying Coach Stratton's always Coach Stratton.
Right. No matter what. I like that. So, so you guys have a big season ahead. There's been a lot of I guess just publicity, and there's been a lot of talk throughout the social medias and throughout the communities that you guys have a really tough team that looks the part, and when they take the field, and you guys are obviously have some studs on your team. If there's one coach that you would not mess with, who is that coach?
I'm gonna go with Strat on that one. Especially last year, I got yelled at a lot. It's scary.
Okay. Okay. What do you got?
He's a nice person, but when he does get mad, it's scary.
So you wouldn't mess with him. So you're saying CJ is soft.
Yeah, no, CJ is soft. Yes. I mean, sorry, Van Waren is soft. Yes, I hope he hears this.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, because I want the ball.
Yeah, okay. What about you?
I'd say as a lineman, Coach McGrew, because I mean, he's cool and everything, but then like it's like there's a line, and once you cross it, it's over.
Right. There's a little switch right there. All right. What about your wrestling coaches?
I wouldn't mess with any of them.
You wouldn't mess with any of them either. They're pretty tough.
I think last year I didn't do any of the profiles, but that senior class did, and they asked for an impersonation of the head coach of Coach Zero, and nobody would do it because
they're a little intimidated.
Yeah.
I think I would take football advice from them rather than tango with them.
Right. Yeah, 100%. They have a lot of wins underneath their belt. Yes, they do. All right. So looking forward to the season, though. Kind of on that piece. You got your coaches that you guys are respecting. You got your community that you guys love, and you're going deep into the. Looking. I know you guys are focused on Hastings right now, but you guys also know that historically, what Whitehall's done throughout conference and throughout the playoff runs. What type of talk is within the locker rooms, and what type of talk is within the hallways of this year's team?
Well, this is a little off, but I don't want our guys to get comfortable, or not comfortable. I don't want them to look at their rankings and get all this praise. We're getting all this praise after 1 week. I don't want us to think we don't got to work. It's just 1 week. And we didn't win any. I mean, we won a game, but we're not winning a chip or anything. So it's not it's as special as some of these guys are training. I want them to know we got to continue working. We got to continue what we've been doing for the past since. I mean, that's what I cut. Sorry, since Cadillac. I mean, we've been working just for this season, and we know we can go all the way. So we.
I mean, we haven't proved anything yet, and Coach Sig in one of the interviews, which I think. The team should really just listen to is we haven't made a statement till we're 9-0 and trophies are in the trophy case. We haven't done anything yet.
So what were those takeaways from Cadillac?
I mean, that was a tough loss. I mean, it was the second year that we lost in a district championship because, the year prior you lose that game, your whole everything that you work for is to win it this time, and for that to happen again, and just
the way it happened
in the fashion that it did, that was awful.
These guys are some pretty humble guys. They sound hungry. Coach, if you could build your ultimate player leader, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, a pretty good combination of what we got right here. I mean, we've got. You talked about the grit, right? That was a word. That was a quote. He used that word. All right. We talked about earning it. All right. And Jackson hit on that. I mean, I get fortunate enough because I coached Jackson in Indy time, right? And when what do we break down on Jackson?
Defense, respect the game.
Right. So whenever we get done with our Indy time, we break down on respect this game because it is the greatest team sport and it's been around for years and you're never going to be better than it. And so if you're not trying to earn some aspect of knowledge in this game and competition and really respect it, then you're not going to be successful at it. And so I think, someone who is vocal and gritty and humble and wants to earn every play, I mean, those are the leadership qualities we look for. And, fortunately right now, I mean, we've got a team that has really good, they're really united. And I think we're solid in that aspect right now.
And looking at years previous to this, that might have been more talented or maybe, more depth or larger, in numbers or sizes are different. What is the takeaway from those years to a year like this where you do have multiple leaders? What is something that is eye-opening or significant, that everybody all the coaches can see
family
every single day.
Family. I mean, these guys work. They're not looking for individual stats. They are, and I'm being 100% honest. These guys very rarely do you hear any of them go, "Get me the ball," or these two were joking around about how in last week's game, Shane did a great job holding his linemen, so Jackson winds up with, double digits tackles, and these kids play for the guy next to him and the guys on the bench and the coaches, and it's something that came pretty instinctual with this group of guys, which is, pretty unique for us, and from some of the years past. And so we're, as a coaching staff, we're really grateful, but we're just, we got to keep that train on the tracks.
How did you guys build that? How did you guys build that?
We did a lot of off-season team bonding to start with. I mean, we were always trying to get that constant, like a big, everybody.
Were coaches involved?
No. No. It was just us. We know, like, we want to build that brotherhood because we know that, like, we need that during the season. That would be big during the season.
Have you guys, when you guys were younger, or maybe when you were freshmen or sophomores, or maybe even in like 8th grade, did you guys see maybe varsity teams that you guys were a part of, but you were too young to be vocal, did you see them maybe acting or behaving a certain way that you guys didn't commend, or is this something that just has come natural to you guys in the piece of the leadership?
I feel like it's really come natural.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got a lot of guys that want to win games, want to get trophies. So, I mean, they aren't really their goals. Like, everybody has personal goals, but like everybody on the team is going to give an arm and a leg to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't worried about, they're willing to sacrifice for their family, for their brothers.
Right on. I mean, that's football at its purest moment right there. Is that you got to be able to, we have a saying that, let's come back to this locker room with honor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's leave it all on the field, but also let's not ruin this game. This game, there's a piece of that where you've got to be able to chase it into the darkness, and it might not ever give you something back. And football's that way, winning's that way, life's that way. You got to do it for a love for your brotherhood, or you got to do it for a love for football. It's not my podcast here, but that is a piece where I'm hearing you guys talk about it, and it's a joy to hear it from you guys. Knowing that you're going to go into battle and you really trust that process piece of it, that matters. So I commend you guys. This has been a lot of fun. Good luck against Hastings.
Thank you.
And good luck the rest of the way. I know you guys have a long season with a lot of little checkpoints a part of that season, but I do think 1 week at a time, and it'll be interesting to kind of see where you guys play this thing out. And obviously, you guys have a great foundation with the coaching staff and with your guys' prior experience that you guys should be able to build off of. So this has been a lot of fun. I think we do have to thank our title sponsor one more time, VanDyk Mortgage Lakeshore, and also thanks to Foundation Systems of Michigan, Shield Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, David Duesenberry, Durga Insurance, Chris Dykeman, Sarah Real at Green Ridge, Big Stone Therapies, North Grove Brewers, and Grieve Law. That will do it for this week's episode of VanDyk Mortgage West Michigan Conference Weekly Coaches Show. Enjoy the games. And I'm looking forward to seeing that score on the bottom of the TV, or maybe even see the highlights on Thursday nights as we're going to be traveling back from St. John's then. So it'll be thank you. It'll be a lot of fun to kind of see how that one goes for you guys. So thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.